All right, all right, all right. Can you all hear me okay? Mic check, mic check.
Coming
Yes.
loud and
Welcome
clear. Coming
back.
in loud and clear.
Yay! Welcome, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. We are so glad to have you. This is the 4040 Network. I am your host, Cheryl Renee, or you can call me Granny, whatever you are comfortable with. And before I dive into everything I want to say, I want my beautiful co-host, my handsome co-host, to go ahead and introduce themselves. The floor is yours, fellas. Whoever want to go first.
Well, go ahead. Well,
Hello, world. As you have heard, I'm Woe, Dwayne Sutton, CEO of iAmWoe Media Group. I am excited to be here. Happy to be doing our thing with y'all. I do want to say for the first time ever, hello, Instagram, to a few of those who follow us. This is our first time broadcasting live over there. So we just want to say what's up to y'all. And Cheryl, J Hawk, thank y'all for having me.
all right, good deal, good deal.
Anytime.
I am J Hawk, Jonathan Hawkins, co-host, guys, and it is a pleasure to rock with y'all today. And we got a line up for
We do.
everyone. It is going to be amazing.
It
Hold
is.
your
So
horses, guys.
listen, hold your horses. Before we get started, if you're wondering where to stream this, we have several locations that you can stream this tonight. You can stream it on iAmWoe Media Group from Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. You can also stream it from my Facebook page, my main Facebook page, or my YouTube channel. We have 5 places you can watch this tonight. So everyone should be able to tune in to this topic. We're talking about, is marriage culture dying? Because if you look at the media today, it sure in the hell looks like that bitch is on its way to the grave. Okay. It looked like it's on his way out of here. I have never in my 40 plus years seen so many couples that have been married 20 plus years headed for divorce or are already divorced. Like you have spent such a good amount of your time and years investing in this person in this relationship, for you to say, you know what, you're not, you know what, this is after 25, 30, 40 years, I have decided this is not my life and I want to do something else. Right. I think that
Mhm,
shit is wild, but it's happening. It's my
mhm,
story. That's what
mhm.
led me to branch out and start being creative in this space here, you know, to have a loud outlet for people who experience divorce on whatever level. Because hey, life provides us with changes and change is necessary, whether it's uncomfortable or not. But here's what led to it. The first time I heard about a couple divorcing that had been married for a long time was back in 2021. And
Mm.
this was, I had divorced myself, and my divorce was final in 2020 after 25 years of marriage and being with my husband through the 4 years that I was in high school. So that's a total of 29 years. So I beat the fucking game either way it goes.
Okay,
I beat
okay.
the game. So if you have been married that long and you're a male or a female, especially if you're a female, you got chose, you got married, you got kids, you had a family. Boom, you beat the game, sis. If you did it, bro, and you raised children and now you're grown, guess what? You beat the game too. Congratulations. But I
Mm.
digress. So I got divorced in 2020. 2021, I saw a headline about Blair Underwood that he and his wife had divorced after 27 years. Wayne, you can pop that one up if you can find it. They
Oh,
divorced
gotcha.
after 20 plus years of marriage. And
I
that just
wonder
blew my
why.
mind.
Wait a minute.
It's
I
okay.
wonder
It's
what the
it's
cause
somewhere. I
was.
got a lot of them. There it is.
Yeah, we
So
go.
Blair Underwood with his sexy self. I've always thought this man was like so fine. He's, if y'all don't know who Blair Underwood is, he is a popular actor and producer from the 1980s and 1990s. He has some shows out. Don't make me name one, but he is wildly popular, and he was for years and years and still is. He's still doing his thing. But he and his beautiful wife, ex-wife, Desiree DaCosta, divorced in 2021. And I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm not the only person that's out here that's been married for over 20 something years getting a divorce. And they did make a statement out. They came out and said, hey, this is an amicable split, blah, blah, blah. Please respect our individual growth. And so I'm just going to go ahead and premise this now. You're going to see that a lot about individual growth and wanting to express oneself. But here's the tea. Here's the tea. After he divorced his first wife of 27 years, he turned around and married his best friend. Literally a year and a half, almost 2 years later, he married his best friend, who's a female, and now they are happily married. So that was the tea there. So Underwood is now married to his longtime friend Josie Hart. They wed
Mm-hmm.
on June 24th, 2023. So 2 years after his divorce from the first wife. And they
Mm-hmm.
met when they were 16 years old, and they have been friends for over 40 years. So my whole
Mm-hmm.
thing there, I'm going to sidetrack. I'm going to have a squirrel moment for one moment. And this is a topic we're going to talk about later on the show. And for everyone who is joining, thank you so much for joining from whatever streaming platform you're joining for. God bless you. Um, do you all think that he and that best friend, female best friend, this is what I want to talk about on another show. Is it okay for your spouse to have a best friend that's the opposite sex? We're going to talk about that and why or why not. Is that okay or why it's not okay for your spouse to have a best friend of the opposite sex? Because clearly in this case, they were all friends. They were all friends. We know that clearly. And so then they divorced. And I haven't found much else on it because these people are very private, living their private lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the first time I saw like, oh shit, okay. They've been married as long as me, and now they're divorcing too. And again, what caught my eye on this one was they said, please respect their growth,
Privacy.
both in their privacy and their growth
Mm-hmm.
as individuals. So just a couple comments, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy and Corey and Asandra for joining, and then wherever else you're joining. I'm just looking at the comments from this one. He said my marriage lasted a strong 4 years. LOL before the divorce. We're gonna talk about that too. But here's the thing: it's a trend. It's not just here. It's just not Blair Underwood and Desiree DaCosta. They divorced in 2021. More recently, we heard about Judge Mathis, right? Judge
Mm-hmm.
Mathis and his wife. His wife filed for divorce over the summer. She literally just filed for divorce over the summer. Um, and she cited irreconcilable differences. And I did a show on this. So if you haven't caught my show on YouTube, I did a show on this. And it's actually also titled Is the Marriage Culture Dead? Where we kind of dive into Judge Mathis and his wife. And I
What
think I
does
pointed
that
out on that
really
show.
mean?
What you say?
What does that really mean? Unreconcilable differences. Like, okay, so it's
I know
like
exactly what it means. That was my word.
vague, right? It's like vague. Like,
That
right,
means stay the fuck
we
out of my
can't get
business.
along. We can't get along.
You know the
Now,
phrase
after all these years, we
agree to
can't get
disagree?
along. Huh?
You know the phrase agree to disagree?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
We can't even agree to disagree. We just disagree. It just
Right.
ain't happening. There is no
Right.
compromise. There is no leniency. I
Okay.
don't like you. You don't like me.
Right.
It's
Well,
over.
It's
so
over.
for what we've been following, she was
Mhm.
kind of like Brady, right? Working too much, right? He was working too much. Now she want to split up, working too much. But I mean, I've seen a
Mhm.
couple of pictures of it and everything. And the purses she have cost a grip. So, the brother got to work in order to keep, what I'm saying, to keep you
Listen, we
looking
can have
fly,
a
keep
whole a
what I'm
whole
Well,
saying?
here's the
discussion
thing.
on that alone. So, like real talk.
But here's the thing.
Mhm.
This couple here on this screen was married for 39 years. I can guarantee you she didn't give a shit about a Birkin bag. Like, that didn't have anything to do with her decision to part ways. And I'm gonna tell you something that really showed Judge Mathis's personality. His show really showed it because he'll overtalk you to death. And you would think that would just be an act, right? But I remember when he was on Wendy
I
Williams'
know a
show.
crackhead when I see one.
I
That's
know,
right.
right, right. He'll
We
call you
know a
out in
lot
a
of
heartbeat.
crackheads.
So that's the crazy part. Now, I remember when he was on the Wendy Williams show, and I hope Wendy Williams is somewhere taking care of herself because she's like really sick now. But we're not talking about that part of it. But she was trying to ask him about an affair, an alleged affair that her team had gotten wind of. This
Mm.
man did not answer the question. First of all, he never answered that question, but he dragged Wendy for filth. Like, he turned it around on her, and he just talked about how bad of a person she was and how bad of a pariah she was, and she wasn't going to drag his name. And to Wendy's credit, she was like, I didn't make this rumor up. My team, this information came to us. We're just asking you about it. You can always, deny it or whatever. I wish I had that clip, but I don't. And he just overtalked her. And I was thinking to myself, is that part of his personality? So imagine being married to someone that has that type of personality where they're going to overpower you at every turn, even verbally. I and he was a lawyer and she wasn't a lawyer. Can you imagine debating with a regular lawyer that you're not married to and you married to one that turned into a judge?
It's called a woman.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, this is
being
honest.
a woman,
I am not.
but
I'm
being
not
no,
crazy. You will not
being
win an
married to
argument with
a
a woman.
well, apparently this woman wasn't winning many arguments with Judge Mathis because this woman after
She had to
39 years
win a
was
couple of
fucking
them for
I'm over it.
39 years.
Well,
39
now
years.
she's
I
calling
can't
it
see her
quits.
not winning. After being married for 39 years, I can't see her not winning the
But here's the
majority
thing
of them.
that we don't see about women when they get married. He was the provider and she stayed home. A lot of times, just like our grannies back in the day, sometimes we stay because that's our whole support system. Whether you're happy or unhappy, sometimes you just stay because of that. You got kids you raised together and you stay because of that. So and we discount peer pressure and image and how we look to people a lot. A lot of people stay in relationships they don't want to be in because they are afraid of how they're going to look to other people.
Man, and that's
That's
for
some
all the
Well,
strong
wrong
shit
reasons. Did you get
there.
married because of other people?
you know what I'm
No, but
saying?
I'm telling you, once you get, you're
Peer
like,
pressure.
I'm
Peer
not getting
pressure.
out of that. I'm not getting out of that relationship. So that was that one. And you think the
Mm-hmm.
trend, it ain't just black people going through that. Throw that one up about my favorite superhero. One of my favorite superheroes. If y'all are into Marvel
What?
Yes,
comics,
I am.
this
Yes, I
What?
am.
Hugh
X-Men?
Jackman,
I mean,
this is
Weapon X.
Wolverine.
You know what I'm saying? Wolverine, Weapon X.
Logan.
Logan.
In
Logan.
his latest greatest Deadpool and Wolverine.
I've not
Uh,
seen that yet.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be
I
That's
tonight.
his
loved it.
latest and
I
greatest. I
loved it.
cannot wait to see. I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers. But they too have called it quits. Actually, at the end of 2023, they called it quits. Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness, who have been married also for 27 years. And the tea on this one is that he had an affair with somebody named Sutton Foster that really did cause their divorce. So, womp, womp, womp.
So,
There it
so
is.
we're kind of getting to the people who are already married, right? So
Yeah.
there's a whole host of women. So, as a matter of fact, I was
Hmm.
talking to one last night. So she is a good friend of mine, right? Um,
Yep.
Near term client and whatever, right? So I'm not calling any names. And so she said, Jay, you know what? I am a really good girlfriend, but that's all I want. I don't. And then when I'm bored, I'm out. I would be a horrible wife because I do not want to marry anybody's son. I'm here for the fun, and when the party's over, it's over. Take it how you like it, and that's me. I don't want to get married. I just want to go on dates and have fun, and when it's over with, it's over with.
How old is
I
this
don't have a
person?
problem with that.
Yeah, like how old is this person? Because
Probably
I'm confused.
36, probably
I don't
like
So
even
she's
think
36,
36.
30. Yeah.
I don't even think age matters. I think this is more of at least you're honest about what you want. We
Mhm.
I
always say
think
we
age
want the
matters.
truth about what it is that you want in, when it comes to dating and relationship. What are you looking for? Just be honest.
Mhm.
And as long as she's being honest with whoever it is she's getting involved with, what's wrong with that?
I'm
I
saying
think age
You can't be
matters.
disappointed about it.
she's a
Age
Why do
homeowner.
you
matters.
say
She
that?
has her own place, kids. Most of her kids are grown. You know,
Age matters.
and
Fight me.
and she's
Fight me.
Why do you say that?
and she's like,
Fight
that's
me.
just not what she wants.
I'm
She
gonna
said
tell you
that's not
why it
what I
matters in a
want.
minute. She 36 right now. She's in her prime. Yeah, it don't fucking matter. It don't matter right
Mhm.
now. It doesn't matter right now while your hips still working, your knees still working. You don't need anybody. You don't need companionship. You got everything you need. You don't need nothing.
When she hit the
The
wall,
older you get, she gonna hit a wall. And this is for men too.
yeah,
It's
we hit
not
the
just for
wall
women
too.
too. Men hit
It's
the
gonna be
wall.
later
Women,
points.
we hit the wall at some point. My mom and dad have been married for how old's my sister? 40 shit. 49 years? I don't know.
Mhm.
Oh, my mom and dad have been married
Yeah, your
50
sister's only
years.
1 year younger than I am.
50 years. My parents been married 50
Mhm.
years. And oh, it's been rough. It's been up and down. But you know what they tell me the most is that thinking back on it when they were in their 20s and 30s and even their 40s, they could like get around. Like they really could. They had that mentality too. Like I don't need to go through this shit with you. I could do this on my own. But now that
Mhm.
they are older and they would rather have each other than to have to pay someone that they don't know who does not care about their well-being. They're just there for the money, take care of them.
Mhm.
They don't
Well, here's
have
the
that
thing.
they wouldn't have that companionship to that level. So yeah, when you're younger, it's like, yeah, cool. I don't never want to get married. I'm good. And I dated a man that was 70 something years old. He was looking for a wife and he was 70 because he had been a bachelor all his life. He had traveled the world. He had done everything he wanted to do. He was a millionaire. No, sir, you're not looking for a wife. Now you're looking for a caretaker. You're looking for somebody to
Yeah,
take
thank
care
you.
of you.
Okay, and I
Hmm.
guess that's where I'm
And
trying to,
Nicole,
because
since
I do know men and
Hmm.
women,
Hmm.
70s, 80s. Again, my grandmother lost my grandfather. I think she was 63. My
Hmm.
grandmother just passed, and she was 96. She never remarried, never dated again.
mm,
Right.
But she had her when she reached a certain stage where she needed people to care for her. She
Hmm.
had 10 kids. And not all of them are married. So guess who's gonna roll in and guess who's gonna step up? And even with those who
The
were married,
children.
the children still stepped in and stepped up. They rotated, they assisted, they
Hmm.
helped out. So I don't think it's necessary. Now, if you don't have that, there are people who still have
Hmm.
siblings or you still have nieces and nephews. I know people who do that. They care for their aunts and uncles. I mean, like it's different scenarios. But if marriage is just not in you, it just ain't in you. And I know 60, 70-year old people, they've been
Hmm.
standing on that business. That's just who they are.
They're
That's why I
weird.
said it's
They're
not
weird.
as easy if it's actually common. You see what I'm saying? I just think people need to be honest about who they are. It's kind of like the whole
So
monogamy
you're
discussion.
saying these people just don't ever want intimacy ever, because that just
No, no,
doesn't
no, no, no.
jive
I didn't say that. I
with
didn't say that.
like
I didn't say that.
Pavlov's
I didn't say
theory,
that.
like with needing
it-
socialization and needing intimacy.
You
I
can
Because
think
why
it
have a
would you
depends
waste
on the
somebody's
significant
age.
time if you know you don't want to be with anybody? Move the fuck on.
you can have a significant other. I
Say
know people
again.
who have that type of relationship. You can have a significant other and just not want to get married. You get
So
So I know
intimacy.
that
Go
happened
ahead.
to a lady I
yeah,
worked with
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Well, here, this happened to a lady that I was working with. She was with a guy for 15 years. They never married. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend. She had her career, blah, 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 blah. She didn't have children because he decided he didn't want children. And she said, okay, cool, I don't want children either. They separated and he married someone else 3 years ago. And
Your
she
friend was
gave
sounding a lot like
what? So I think people should be more honest with themselves when they say, "I don't want companionship. I'm just going to have a." No, they're lying to themselves on some level. It's some delusion there. It is some
mm,
delusion there. Especially the older you get and you realize that being alone forever is a real thing. Unless you're rich enough to
might
go
not be
travel and be like
forever.
those old ladies
It's how
who go
you
over
view
there
it.
to the
So for instance, there are people who
mm,
actually don't want to share their space. Once you've been in this isolated, I live by myself type situation,
mhm,
Mhm.
and that's what you're used to. You have developed the everyday routine. You don't like sharing your bed with anyone else. You don't like sharing your meals with
mhm.
other people. Like it's my food, so stay off my plate. You don't like,
So they're
there are people
selfish.
that there are people who are absolutely like that,
Let's
and that's
call it
Lone
what it
wolf.
is.
I like to
if
call
they
them
like
Let's
lone
call
people
it what
wolf.
it
like that,
is.
that's
It's
fine. At least they're
selfish.
honest with themselves.
If
They
if
just
you
want
say
what
they
they
honest
want
with
to be comfortable.
themselves,
But
I like
I,
to
I mean,
call
like
them
I said,
lone
as long
wolf.
as you're honest about that, I don't see a problem. Because if I'm somebody who's
mhm.
looking to date and you're honest about that, I know to stay away from you. I'm not gonna waste my time or my money with you. You see
But
what I'm
see, here's
saying?
the
Mm.
thing: those people lie because they know if you meet somebody you really like and you don't want to be committed, and this is male or female, because there's females out here that, like you said, they like, I don't want to get married. They're gonna lie
Mhm.
to their partner if they know they have a partner that they like that also they want to be committed, but this other person don't want to be committed. They may
Then you're setting
string them
yourself up for
along.
failure. You're a part of
Mm.
the divorce rate.
Yep.
You're setting
Yep.
yourself up for failure if you're doing that. I tell
Hmm.
if the
That's
man came
happening a lot. Why do you think the divorce rate is so high?
because people are willing to lie for
Right.
themselves as their own representation and to each
Mhm.
other. So that's why I said, if you're honest about who you are and what you want, I don't
How
see a
many
problem.
self-aware people we like date out here?
Yes.
We
Because
have
if
to
we
live and
had more
learn. I would like to
self-aware
think once you get on the
people,
other side of 50
the
and
divorce
60,
rate
you can
would
live and
not be
learn
70
a good
something
bit.
percent. Right. Hey.
So I want you to check this out.
Well.
You can get married way early in life. As long as your parents sign off, you can get married at 18, which is absolutely dumb. Why in the world? I got married at 21.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't tell you it's so
Because of
easy
religion.
to get married. They don't tell you how hard divorce is.
Yeah, they don't.
Or
You know,
actually, how hard it is. So the
to stay
church.
married.
Let me beat up on the
Yeah.
church for a moment. I know some of you
Uh-oh.
Christians are going to come for me when I beat up on
That's
the
okay,
church,
drag it.
but I'm ready for it. Right? You know, come fight me. So the
I mean,
church
right.
is
We're choosing
really,
violence
really
tonight.
good at getting you married, but they don't teach you how to stay married.
Some don't.
They good, yeah. They really
don't.
good. The gospel, they use the gospel. They're really good to get you to the altar, and after you get to the altar, you're on your own, right? And so, but so there that is out there. So
Well,
could that
I
have
guess to the
also
defense of the
contribute to the?
church,
Oh, you gonna defend?
this is the church's
I
well,
can
here's the
defend as
church's
well. Go ahead,
stance
sir.
on it. This is the church's stance on it. If
First
you
lady,
get
go ahead.
married, they expect you to stay in that marriage, come hell or high water, come good or bad. They pastors, when they're giving you the vows, they expect for you to take that as seriously as they're taking it when they're saying it to you, for sickness and health, for richer or poorness, through for better or for worse. They expect you to stay there. That's what pastors and Christians do, because that is what the Bible says. The only reason Moses granted divorce, and I can't even think of the scripture right now, was because of unforgiveness, for hardness of your heart. That was the reason that Moses granted divorce in the Old Testament. And Jesus brought that out in one of his sermons, because you of unforgiveness. And then
So
how many times did Jesus tell us to
irreconcilable
forgive each
differences?
other? 70 times 7. You could never get to 70 times 7 in this freaking lifetime. We just give up. We don't
My
forgive.
ex-wife,
We
I
just
was
give up.
pretty close.
it's a give up, and it's a difference between giving up and there's another thing called beating into submission.
Oh yeah.
There are some people. You ever heard the phrase you being a glutton for punishment? Sometimes we stay in relationships knowing, doggone, we're gonna take a beating, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. We're taking a beating, and sometimes you get beaten into submission where you know what, I give up. You got it, bro. Whatever you want is yours. I don't even care no more. You want the argument, cool. You want the house, cool. Whatever you want, take it. Just I'm not ready to die from stress.
Right.
I'm not. So there's those things. Now, as far as to say, in slight defense of the church, not all pastors do it or churches do this, but I do know quite a few ministers, and the one I had for my second marriage was very adamant. I'm not going to do the wedding if you don't do the premarital counseling.
Right.
And the whole point of the premarital counseling, and I'm still adamant to this day, I tell anybody this: you're going to do marriage, do the premarital counseling, but just like I was told, do not BS the process. If there is something about this person that you're not comfortable with or that you do not like, lay it out, because forever is a mighty long time.
To be unhappy.
Stop promising forever, and you think I'm gonna just sweep this other little stuff under the rug. It ain't gonna be that big a deal.
No,
If
it
it
sure
bothered
ain't. You
you
better.
before marriage, it's gonna be worse
It's gonna bother you.
during the marriage, because you're gonna come home pissed off from work one day, and then one of his or her bad habits is gonna come out, and that's gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Right.
Like a postal worker.
So don't BS the premarital counseling. Talk things out. Be honest about what it is. Again, whether it's if you have OCD and you like things cleaned a certain way, you need to make that known. That can lead to big fights. Monogamy. If that's a big issue, have the discussion. If you know you got a history of cheating, don't think because I really love this one, she'll be different. So I ain't gonna really get into all of that word that I have a problem with that. That ain't the time. You need to be making it known. All right. So the last 3-4 relationships I've been in, I actually ended because I cheated. And I have an issue with monogamy. You need to have a discussion. Because here's the thing. Now that you told her, she can decide for herself if this is something she wants to deal with.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
That's why I said just be honest. Don't BS the process.
Definitely don't
That's
BS
a
the
phrase. I
process.
think we should put that on a shirt somewhere. Don't
I
BS the
am.
process.
I
Don't
sure am.
don't BS the process. Trying to set that up to where I can see the comments too. All right, so we got a couple comments that came in, and so Corey was saying that people change over time. That happens,
Mhm.
right? In the course of being together for so long, people do change over time.
Call
Darcy pointed
evolution.
out it's called evolution, right?
Right.
Darcy pointed out at one point I said I didn't want marriage. I was hurt so much and lied to, but now after being single for 10 years, it's lonely. I want the endless love. I want the forever till death do us part
I want
love.
to talk to her about
So
that too. But you go ahead.
that's Darcy. Hang
Okay.
tight, Darcy. We got some questions
We,
for you. Jimmy
we
said,
got something for you.
uh, he said he didn't get married until he was 41 years old, and thank God he said, "Oh Lord Jesus, he was ugly coming up, so it allowed him to mature and experience life a little bit more." And, at least, hey, at least you lived life. You 41, you lived that thing.
Hey,
You was
bro, I can still
outside.
be honest with him. That boy
You're
was real.
right.
Is that Jimmy Dub?
Oh,
Is that
I
that's
Jimmy
was
Jimmy
Dub?
real.
Watson. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Jimmy
Jimmy, stop playing, man. So
from
check this out.
Brookhaven, man.
Here's something, another reason why people probably stayed married longer.
Mhm.
It was this way for my great grandfather
Uh-oh.
because he was going to
Mhm.
divorce. Not my grandmother, my great grandmother, because she had
Mhm.
passed on. He got married again, and he saw how much he was going to pay her in alimony or whatever, and he was like, "This was
Mhm.
his words." He said,
Mhm.
"Shit, it's cheaper to keep her."
It's
And so,
cheaper. It's cheaper to keep her. Ain't that's a blues
It's
song?
cheaper to keep
But
on.
here, that's the thing, right? What what you said about
so they
back in the
decided to
day.
not get along but stay married.
Oh, was it you, Wayne? One of you all sent me this chart where it showed like how we used to meet people back in the day, and like how like back in the 1800s, of course, we knew slavery was happening. So black people really didn't have the freedom to get married like we wanted to. We had to get permission.
Had
It
to
was a
jump a
whole
damn
crappy
broom.
Jump the
thing. Had to
broom.
jump a broom and all this shit. So then it evolved to where we could get married, but then we were not as educated, and our men went out and worked, and the black female really wasn't educated. Like our grandmamas, they wasn't educated. So all that stress and pressure that the man dealt with outside the home, and this is not every black man. I know some beautiful love stories,
Mhm.
beautiful, of our great grandparents who were married for years and years and had 14 children, and then he died or
Mhm.
she died, and and they had a beautiful love story. That's not always the
Mhm.
case, but the circumstances were different then, and marriage rates were like way higher than now with the introduction of modern technology and the internet and this whole psyche. And I got to talk about the psyche, the psychology behind this for just a minute. But it has changed. It has changed so much. And what we do is we jump into relationships, right? Now, if you've been married for 10 years, you're there unless you just making a choice to leave and go or whatever you're going to do. If you're there for 10 years, something must be holding you there.
Well,
So it's going to take a mighty big jump for you to say, nah, like I don't want to do this anymore. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what I wanted to say was, first of all, for you people thinking about getting married, infatuation, and this is a proven fact, it can last up to 36 months. That is 3 years. You can be totally enamored with a person. But psychologically, what we don't realize is our behaviors, what our sexual behavior is, and where it comes from, and who we get it from, and if we are an emotional type person versus a physical type person, and where someone that you may be chemically attracted to, chemistry attracted to in the beginning, uh, that can wane over time if you notice that after that you've gotten used to that person, they've got used to you, to put it mildly, and as we say, the mask fall off, and then 2 or 3 years down the road, he was like, "Oh, like I don't know," because sometimes we don't deal with what we need to deal with, and we drag that shit into relationships. And I'm just gonna sound like a broken record for a minute, and I'm gonna use Wayne for my example because we have had some conversations. He's been married twice, so the first one was a trial and error. Is what we're gonna call it. It was trial and error. Uh, But then they both discovered that they didn't need to be together because they were not compatible.
In the
That's
simplest
kind of what it
form.
comes down to. In
Yeah,
the
that's what
simplest
we.
form. That's all we're gonna say on that. So
Yeah.
then he found somebody more compatible. Uh, because sometimes we're not healed and we're like, no, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be with this new person that I'm with, even though I got all this shit from this other relationship. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna filter everything he says or she says to me through the pain of the last relationship.
through the
And people
lenses.
get married through that. They get married through that. And then they end up divorced. And I think that's one of the reasons why the divorce rate is like 70 something percent now. It's
Can I can
ridiculously
I
high.
can I say something on that real quick?
Yeah.
Just real quick. I
Mhm,
think that's where we go wrong with a lot of our relationships.
mhm,
Consider it your marriage or your relationship. Consider it a piece of artwork, a painting, if you
mhm,
will. And from the very beginning, you have a blank canvas. Okay. And then as we go along, we start to realize it's not really taking the form that I wanted it to.
Mm.
This isn't, it somewhere along the way a misstep, and it's not really doing what I. And so instead of getting a blank canvas and starting
mhm,
over, we just want to try to erase the bad part, or and then put somebody else there, and maybe they'll finish out this. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. I wasn't here
mhm.
for that. See, if you put me in someone else's place, I'm gonna take the blame also from the bullshit that they took you through.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm gonna have to be responsible now for your baggage from him or her.
Mm.
We
Mhm.
gotta stop doing those things.
Oh, yeah, it's
If
terrible.
you have not healed from your past trauma, your past damages, stop getting into relationships, committed relationships with
Mhm,
people, because your canvas needs to be blank when you bring another person in. You got to start from the beginning, from the ground up.
mhm.
You're doing
How
yourself
many people?
no
Yeah.
favor whatsoever by
Right.
starting from somebody else's bullshit. I don't want to. I don't do me that.
It's
And
like a
that's what's
plug and play
happening. It's
relationship.
right. It's like the opposite of what you said about the people who are so self-aware that they know that hey, I don't want to be in a relationship, right? Like I'm not out here to be in a relationship. I am happy being single. I will do the occasional hookup, temporary relationship, but I'm good. And then you have the people on the other side of that spectrum who are afraid to be alone. So I think that's like
Hmm.
people are living either on one extreme or the other. It's like either leave me the fuck alone, I'm good over here, I'm
Or I
good.
need,
And
I
you have
need,
the
I
other
need, I need,
people
I need.
who they just need it and they just cannot be alone, right? They
And
can't be
that's a
alone. So
whole
thank
nother
you
issue.
all. Yeah, that is a whole nother. We're gonna talk about it, but it's time for a break. So thank you all for joining. Stick around. It's quick break. Share this, definitely share this, and then we will be right back. All right, Wayne.
Boom.
Looking for great music and dope podcasts? BWNC Radio is where it's at. Black with No Chaser Radio. Download the app now. Come for the dope podcast. Stay for the dope music. Also available on Apple Stores and Google Play Stores. Welcome to an experience with All That Jazz Entertainment House, where you get great customer service, great establishment, great leadership, great staff. Did we mention the catering, the ambiance, the vibe? All of this stems with great cocktails, great mixes, great mixologists with a great leader. All That Jazz Entertainment House. Contact Randy Glover for booking. Looking for great music and dope podcasts? BWNC Radio is where it's at. Black with No Chaser Radio. Download the app now. Come for the dope podcast. Stay for the dope music. Also available on Apple Stores and Google Play Stores.
All right, we are back. Thank you all so much. You saw the the ads. First of all, BWNC Radio, Black with No Chaser Radio. Please download the app today. It is Black owned. It's for us, by us, for everybody. This show will be featured on there, I think tomorrow morning or the next morning. So please, by all means, please support BWNC Radio. That is the trend. That's the direction we're going in. We're for our people always. Secondly, Randy is that was her ad, and she has a catering company. So definitely support if you're in that area. I think she flies all around too. So hey, check it out. But anyway, make
For the
sure
right
you share
price,
this video,
she'll
like this
definitely come to
video.
you now.
Yeah,
Sound
she'll
like I
fly
saw,
to you.
sound like
Go ahead.
like I saw David Tabula Man over there on
You
one of
did.
those.
You
You know what I'm
did.
saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
They
She
say, hey, pretty good.
Randy's
Look, and
very
they
well
still
put.
together. Ooh, black man,
Oh,
that's love.
good. You're right. Tamala
Black
Man
love.
and David Man were in. She catered for them, and they're a couple that's been together for 40 years, 40 plus years,
And David messed up a
30
couple
something
times.
years.
He had a
He
couple
did.
outside kids and everything else. Boy, it
Mhm.
was rough.
Well, I guess
He
that's the
talked
thing.
about it too.
What's the line? What's your breaking point?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know, I think sometimes we aren't honest enough about what that is.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're too quick to jump the gun. You know, like for instance, we've heard people say,
Yeah.
"Well, they had an affair and it's over." You want to get to the root of that,
Okay.
or you just done? You just looking for
Yeah.
a way out? Because if
Yeah. Look for a way
I've
out,
been with
probably.
you for 25 years,
Hmm.
never cheated, and out of nowhere, I had an affair.
No, it's a problem.
Something triggered that. It didn't just happen. How in the
There's a
world did
root
I do
cause there,
all
right?
this time being
Mhm.
faithful? What led to this? And some people are not willing to have those discussions. They're afraid of the hard truth. Um, but you got to you got to be honest with what's my breaking point? Where do I draw the line at?
So
Right.
When is it
And then,
enough?
I gotta insert this right here. You know what I'm saying? Because she stayed, right? Right. I get it with
who
all that.
stayed? Who we talking about?
Tamala,
Tamla stayed, right? Even
Yes,
after he
she
did his
did.
thing. Okay. Question is, whoa,
what up?
if your woman went out and did something crazy and came back pregnant, could you stay with her having the baby in the
Oh,
household?
not Life Jennings.
Let me tell you a secret. So I think all men are not created equally. It's just me
Mm-mm.
personally. You have to know what kind of strength you have. There are some people, you know, I'm a Game of Thrones fan, and what's
Jon Snow?
yeah,
Jon
she
Snow, his
she
nephew?
punished Jon Snow, and that was a child. He had nothing to do with what Ned did to her,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
And even though she forgave him, she said she forgave him. You don't
Mm.
completely forgive that man if you continue to punish the child. The
Mm-hmm.
child didn't
Very
do
true.
this.
Mhm.
So you have to find out what strength you had. See, if she had just been honest about how she felt,
Mm.
maybe things for the Starks don't go the way they do. You know, because if you really want to go back and look at it, she was one of the worst people in the dog because she always had an ulterior motive. She was
Yep.
Mhm.
never truly honest
Was it
about
Catherine
what
Stark?
she felt. Huh?
Was it Catherine Stark? What was her name?
I think it was
Ned's
Catherine.
wife.
Yeah.
Catherine.
Lady
And
Catherine. Yeah.
yeah.
But
She was
she was
terrible.
never truly honest about how she felt. It was
Mhm.
always an underlying issue somewhere. And she had to deal with that later on because it ate her up how she did him. But then she was
Mhm.
finally honest. She never forgave Ned for that. So
Right.
And it wasn't even his
it
child.
depends on your level of strength. Like for me,
Yeah.
if it's something that I did,
Mhm.
that I neglected you, or I mistreated you, or I shortchanged I left room for another man to step in and whatever happened. I gotta own that.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk
yeah,
about it.
you were wrong on your part,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna be honest with myself because I'm highly critiquing. I highly critique myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I dropped the ball in our marriage and I basically pushed you into the arms of another man, I gotta eat that.
Well, here's
And
the thing, Wayne. Here's the
I
thing.
deserve.
You have emotional intelligence. You are wise
That's what I
enough
said.
and
You gotta know what you can
self-aware
handle.
enough to come there. Jonathan just asked something in our in on the YouTube channel. He said, "Is there a correlation between higher education and higher divorce rate?" So
He did.
I think there is a correlation because when you know yourself and when you have a higher level of thinking beyond small town politics, beyond just the small demographic that you grew up in, because we have a certain mindset when we're only in
Mhm,
one place for all of our lives, and we're not as fully developed as we probably could be, right? And I think
mhm,
that speaks to what Wayne says, because if you're one of those type of people, whether male or female, and your partner makes a mistake, a egregious mistake, whether it's gambling and take spending all your money, they done took all the money out the bank account and gambled it away, because people get divorced for that too.
They do.
You know, and yeah, people will shoot you. They will kill you quicker fooling with their money than they will if you stepped
I
out,
think
because
that
you done,
actually money
you
might
know,
be the number one reason why people get
money is
divorced.
finances is the number one reason people get divorced, and then of course, secondly is infidelity is the second thing. But
I want to drop
man, you're
something in the
right.
hat for you in a moment.
You're right. People don't take a good hard look and say, what led my partner to do that? Step out
You
in
know?
whatever way. What
Yeah.
led to that? Instead they're like, you're a terrible person, and then they recruit everybody else in the family or in the friend group in the community to
Mhm,
label you as the villain. I know I've been the fucking villain. So they label you that, and no one gives you an opportunity to explain, correct, explore why you may have done what you did right in that
mhm.
situation. And sometimes it's a little bit closer to home, but I want to play this little funny clip first because it speaks to what I'm going to say next. Do you see the video that says "funny marriage," Wayne? It's probably down
Funny.
there.
Let's see, marriage
It's
Mm,
like,
vid. Here we go.
yeah, click that.
yeah,
Let's
I
see.
think,
That
yeah.
be. Let's
Show
see.
almost
It,
70% of
not that
marriages
one, not that one, that
Not
one,
that
because
one.
that's giving some stat.
Oh, I see you.
It
Okay.
says "funny marriage," that one.
During the last year, I have attempted to make love to you 365 times. I succeeded 36 times. This averages once every 10 days. And the following is a list of reasons why I did not succeed. It's too hot, 15 times. It's too cold, 3 times. I'm too tired, 19 times. It's too late, 60 times. It's too early, 9 times. Pretending to sleep, 35 times. I'm not in the mood, 21 times. Mind my hair,
You can stop it right there.
28 times. Is that all you think?
Like,
So
it's a little glitchy, so we're gonna stop it right there.
there's so much
But you
that could be
kind of
said
get the, can
right
y'all
there.
could y'all hear it a little bit?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Definitely heard
Only
it.
reason I'm bringing this up for a reason. I'm bringing this up for a reason. It was funny, and he just went on to say, like, out of all those times, 36 times, like, so women have all these excuses for why we don't want to do that particular thing. And I know every man in this world is different. They're not all cookie cutter, but some do come with a high sex drive. And if they
mhm,
chose
yeah.
you to be their partner for life, they expect that. It is a need. And I know it may not be a need for women because we're emotional creatures, but it is a need for men. And I need to make this clear for the ladies who may be watching this now or at some future date.
I
Like
can wait to find
you
you.
were like literally getting it in with him as much as possible before y'all got married. Because let's be honest, we're not living in a society where we wait 3 and 4 years before we get married and give it up. We just, that's not where we are.
Nope.
So if you get married, even people don't anticipate all of the extra added responsibility that comes along with being married, because they're thinking that it's going to be like it was before we got married. It's like building a house, and you estimate that it's going to cost you $250,000 to build that house. And then you get to building the house and you have to put custom features in there, and you want a certain thing here, and then you find out that you got to pay the city XYZ to get this extra part put on here. So what started out as a $250,000 investment can easily become double that, 500,000. We don't look at marriage that way, but that's what it is. You don't count up the cost of what it means to be married. So when you get married, it's like, oh my God, he wants to do it every day. No, he doesn't. He's still wanting to do it the same amount of time he did it before y'all got married. You just tired now, sis. You don't want to do it no more. But that's what you
Mm,
signed up for. That's what you signed up
mm.
for. So I
And
need you
then,
all to
and
work on and
then,
do less nagging and more gagging, because it's part of it. It's just,
girl,
Come on now. And what she won't do, there's a
somebody else
Domino,
side
will.
chick
Domino
that
pizza wheel.
will.
Domino pizza wheel. You better know
Domino
it.
pizza wheel. Listen, I'm so glad that you were honest about that. Because
It's
that's
true.
that's a sensitive spot for some women and some men.
It's very sensitive.
Because there are
Yeah.
women out there who have high sex drives,
Mhm.
and a man, nobody's signing up for. But this is where you again have to become okay, like you said, people change, which we call evolution.
Right.
Do you want to do forever with this person? How
Mhm.
You mean
committed
do
are you
life
to doing
together?
forever with this person?
You mean
So
like do
if
life together?
do life
Stay
together.
there. Right.
Right.
Because one thing Big Chris said that I will always say will forever be true. Forever is a mighty long time. Okay.
Mhm.
And people have romanticized what they think marriage is.
Mhm.
So if you really want to do this and you're really committed to forever, and baby, that coochie
Mhm.
say, listen, you want us to do 70. I'm sorry, I'm not that model anymore. My max is 55.
Right.
So guess what, baby? You can't get mad when he tells you or asks you, what do you think about opening the marriage up?
Ooh.
Right. Let's talk about it.
Not forces the issue.
It's a different
He wants
form
to
of
come to you
marriage.
and have a very adult conversation about having an open marriage. Here's the thing. Open marriage isn't what you think it is. Open marriage is what you make it.
Right.
You control the rules. You set the boundaries. And if you can't trust each other to stay within those boundaries, you might want to rethink why y'all even married.
Right.
You
The
know what? I
whole
want to bring
point
that up.
of
I want
marriage
to.
is trust. I have to be able to
Yeah.
trust you with everything that is me, whether it's
Right.
finances, whether it's my body, whether it's our children,
Mm.
whether it's our religion. I need to be able to trust you with all of me.
Mhm.
So with setting those boundaries, can I trust you with this? That I'm probably not feeling it as much as I used to, which may be a hormone imbalance. Go get that
It
checked
may
too,
be.
by the way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I need to make sure you gonna stay home. So can I occasionally give a pass so you can get what you need, get your itch scratched? Are you willing? Are you committed to that? You need to have these
Mhm.
conversations.
And open and honest conversations. I was talking to my daughter who's married about this, and of course, they have a young child. They have a 5-year-old. She works full time. He works full time. They're running. They're seeing to him. They're paying bills. They're trying to keep food on the table. They're trying to have a social life. They're trying to be with each other and be intimate. And she's exhausted because she spends most of the time with my grandson because she's the mom, right? Clearly, and her dad's off working. And she was like, "Oh my goodness." Like most conversations we have as women, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. I'm too hot. I'm too cold. My head hurt. I'm tired. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And before you know it, ladies, 3 weeks have passed. A month has passed. 3 months have passed. And you're expecting for your spouse to be Herculean in his effort to remain committed to you. That is that's a tall fucking order for
Hey,
anybody. So
hey,
when your husband step out for this reason, I need for women to start taking accountability for their neglect of their husband. Now, if he's just out here cheating and you are giving it up, leave that man because literally he not in it for you, sis. He
that's
not. I don't know
outside the
what he
rules.
there
That's
for.
outside the boundaries.
Right,
You that was not agreed
right,
upon. That is
Mhm.
that's the definition of cheating. Anything
right,
that's outside of what we agreed to is cheating.
Mhm.
right. Very true. So yeah, you got to
So,
give it up. If you want the man to be monogamous and you want him to be committed, because he's already chosen you. If you're married, this is for the women who are already married or in committed relationships. He's already chosen you, sis. Y'all have the house, y'all have the kids, y'all are together. He has chosen you.
You.
You have chosen him. Honor that commitment. And one of the ways you can
yep.
honor it is through intimacy. Give it up, as Big Mama said on the one that Martin Lawrence did. Give it up. Give it
And
up.
here's the
Put
thing.
it in
If
your
it's something
mindset
that,
too, just to
Be
do it. Yeah.
nasty. Be nasty with it. You know
hey
what I'm
man,
saying?
don't go there because I could be posting.
This is not a child. This is not a children's show. This is not a family show. Okay.
It's
Hey,
not a
what we used to
family
do as kids?
show.
You ain't want nobody
What?
reaching their hand in their plate. If I spit on it, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think too, and I have a video. I don't know if I'm gonna play it because
Hawk too.
the last one was a little hot too. And women have mixed emotions about that. I have talked to a wide range of women when it comes to hawk too, when it comes to not less nagging and more gagging. I have women
Mm-hmm.
who said they have been married for years and years and years, and they will never ever do that. They've never done that. They will never ever do that. And I
They've
just get
never,
real
ever,
quiet.
ever, ever, ever,
Can I tell y'all the
ever, ever,
secret? Can I tell y'all
I
the
just
ever.
get
secret?
real. I just get real quiet. I don't say
Can I
nothing.
tell y'all the
Uh,
secret?
Go ahead, tell us the secret.
Ma'am, listen to me. Ma'am, whoever you may be, you
Who
may
gonna
have the
tell
most
her?
loving, kind husband in the world, boyfriend, whatever it may be. And I don't care how long y'all been together. He may never even ask you to do that. But I
That's right.
promise you, if you've never done it, you don't have a faithful man.
You do not.
He
You
is
do not.
getting that from some. You don't, especially
Say it
because,
again. What they
especially
don't
because
have?
unless you was my very first partner, I done had somebody else who do. You don't introduce me to that, and then I don't get it no more for the rest of my life. The
Oh
lies.
hell no.
Domino's
Right.
Pizza. I need to order me a
No.
hand tossed.
AutoZone.
Not a
Napa
hit.
Auto Parts. Got the number saved.
You know,
Walgreens
I
in
need
Florida.
a two hand toss with some garlic
Right.
knots. You know,
Trust me.
Two
Tell
hand
them
twist.
again. You
Guap,
don't have
guap,
a
guap.
if you're
Two.
not doing that, if you're not, and then you never have, he could be really, 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 really good. I mean, a beautiful husband, loving husband. Somebody breaking him off.
and here's
Okay,
the thing:
just know that.
find different ways. Okay,
Yeah.
your body don't want to cooperate, your mouth does. It can still work. If you say this ain't working for me, I don't really think. Okay, let me tell you what you do. You get them a nice account of OnlyFans, and you get them a
Hmm.
nice bottle of lube or some oil, and you better start figuring out how to get your wrist strong.
You
Figure
better do
some things
something.
out to assist in the matter. But that still is a form of intimacy as well.
Oh
Listen,
my
I'm
god.
telling you right
Hmm.
now, you can be the strongest man in the world, but we think better. We are more focused when our nuts are empty.
You know.
Sometimes we
You know
can't
what?
even hear right
It's a
when
Buddhist
we
quote.
backed up.
That's a
Mm.
black man Buddhist quote. As soon as I bust, I am clear.
I can
Post,
exactly.
what is it? Post nut clarity. Ah, I'm clear. Okay, so Shanette says, what she say? But if she never did it before marriage, why would you expect it after marriage? He shouldn't have married her if that was the problem. I think it's like the whole view of sexuality and intimacy and physical sex in or schmegel, whatever the fuck they calling it nowadays, within that relationship. When I got married, I did not do that, but it evolved into that because I wanted to add more
Okay,
spice to my
thank you.
relationship. It didn't start out that way because I got married when I was 18. It was a lot of things when I was 18 that I was like, ew, I'm not gonna try that. Ew, I'm never gonna do that. And then the after being married for 10 or 15 years, I wanted to try different things because I wanted to spice it up. So I introduced that to the relationship. Now, believe it or not, he was much older than me and much experienced than me. He had already had that experience with
Let,
someone else, obviously. You know, so
let
I
me
just
be
decided
honest.
to incorporate it because I wanted to please my spouse. That was my way of
Mhm.
honoring my partnership intimately.
I
So
have
I'm
a
pretty
question
sure he
for both of
probably
you.
doesn't expect it, but if he's had it before, 9 times out of 10, it's women thinking men should be like Superman and made of iron, like he should never have these desires after he gets married. Trust
That's the
me,
most
he had the
unrealistic
fantasies
thing in the world.
before, he still has the fantasies after. Just because he got married doesn't make any of that type of imagination go away. He wants that pleasure. Trust me, if he's had it before, he's gonna want to feel that again. Now, whether he
You
gets it
know,
from his wife or if he doesn't, and it just happens to happen somewhere else outside of that, and his wife knows nothing about it, then she knows nothing about it. It's the
you
world
know,
we live in.
I
Ladies,
think
let
you
me
should.
also give you. I'm gonna give you a little tip too.
Yeah.
If that's something that you like doing, and your man tells you, "I don't want you to do that,"
Right.
if he says something full of shit, like, I don't know, I think that's beneath you, says some shit like that to you, run. He dipping his naked dick in some other woman, and he just don't want you to suck it off. That's all.
Oh, wow.
I'm being
Okay,
very
that's
honest.
new.
Because
Well,
don't
you know
no
what?
man with common sense turn that down.
There
No
are.
man with common sense turns that down.
I'm gonna
Right.
have to. I'm about to push back on you because this is only. I've talked with brothers, frat or
Mm.
whatever, and sometimes we do put our women on a pedestal. So what? And this was the idea thought.
Mm.
What I used to do out there with them freaks, I don't want to do with my wife because I was nasty as hell. And this is the mother of my child. I don't want to. I'm
He
telling
cheating
you,
on
this
her.
is discussion. No, I don't think he was.
Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have this moment.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't think he was. He's like,
Sure, I think you know,
I
Vito.
can't. I just can't. I can't do that with my wife.
Can I respond?
He said, I can't do that with my wife. He said he couldn't do that. He didn't say in general, I just can't do that. He
Uh-huh.
said, I can't do that with the one I put on a pedestal. I've
Uh-huh.
learned real well how to
Interesting.
read through the
Uh-huh.
through the language, and he can't do that
So,
with his
so,
wife. He
so
didn't
I'm
say he
not.
couldn't do
That's
that.
still. So he still confirmed what I said.
Yes.
He put you on a pedestal. I don't want you to put your mouth on me because I know what my dick been. You know what I'm saying?
So,
but
two
you know, if
questions.
that's how
Circling
you feel,
back.
listen. If that's how
Yeah.
you feel, that's cool. And
Mm.
here, as an advisor and a philosopher and a counselor of black men,
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no wonder you get D's and everything.
You know
God damn
what?
it.
I'm not fooling with you
amen,
tonight. All right,
amen.
so
Let me tell
two
you.
things I want to address. I'm gonna circle back to Shanette and then Dede. So Shanette says, but if that was a must, again, why would he marry her? She wasn't the one. Well, that's a hypothetical. I don't think he would marry. I don't think if people were incompatible to that degree, I don't think he would marry her. He would leave that lady alone. If he knew beforehand that that wasn't on the table, that wouldn't even really be a discussion unless he just really is a narcissist or has really strong narcissistic tendencies and he just want to fuck with
Mhm.
her. Like, I don't know any other reason why a man would
Right.
marry a woman where he feels like that wasn't on the table for him.
See, if I'm for you and I want to do
Mhm.
life with you,
Right.
okay, I'm used to running certain plays. This is my box. This is what I'm used to. But I know, forget again, like I said earlier, forever is a mighty long time. It's time to open the playbook
Yeah,
up,
it is.
baby. You're not in rookie
Open it
mode
up.
no more.
Open
Let
it
me
up.
tell you something now. She
And
has
they're
a
running
weight.
West Coast
That
offense no
woman
more.
you met at 27, at 37 is a different woman.
Yeah.
Mm.
Urges have wakened. Senses in her body are different now. And
Mhm.
she wants to do things and try things. She was all nice and sweet and make love to me, baby. Show me you really love me. 37, she is like, if you don't put some force behind this stroke and fuck me, look, she gonna grab your hand, put it right here, please,
Right.
put it right there.
Like
She
right
might be
here.
nice to not tell you that, but
At this
she
point,
wants.
sir,
You hear me?
get your life.
And that's called evolution. Once you start to find out who you are,
Hmm.
you start to
Mm.
evolve. And as the person who is committed, like, for instance, I'm your husband, your orgasms are mine. They are my responsibility. So whether it's by choice or by force, any means necessary, I gotta make this shit happen. So if you want me to crack out the leather and the flogs and the whips and the chains and the ropes, and or you want me to go and get you a nice piece of jewelry for you know what place, whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it takes, it's my responsibility to get that done. And if I'm willing to do that for you and I ain't never done that shit before,
that's a
come
little.
on, baby. You can't.
That's commitment right there. And that's the thing, commitment, when you get into it to that degree and you know you're in it for the long haul. And I think men and women both need to put it in their mind, in their mindset, in their psyche. I don't care if you have to do positive mantras at night or whatever you have to do in your prayer life, put it in your psyche, in your mind, that when you get married and you want to stay married for a long time, first of all, we're going to get to that clip in a minute. You need to like that person and they need to like you beyond that passionate stage, because that's going to wane. That's going to fade. The first 7 years, you're going to hit that 7-year itch. You can be like, what the fuck? You know, you're going to get to where you're learning each other again, because at this point it's bare. Everything's laid bare. That 7th year of marriage, that's laid bare. You know, like it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, not a piece of jewelry. This is something
Yes, the
that
piece of
we.
jewelry. You know that you want a diamond or you want a ruby. They come in different colors.
Which one you want that blasted? You know. So
Look which color you want and how big you want it.
how big do you want it? How do you want it? How do you feel? What was
Is
that?
that
I
what
don't know
Tupac
who.
was talking about? Is that what
Yeah,
Tupac
that
was
was
talking about?
Tupac.
Is that what Tupac
I
was
don't
talking
know.
about? I missed the whole thing all these years. That's what
Amen.
he was talking about.
I don't know what he was talking about. It just came to my mind right then.
Well,
All
I
right,
mean, that's
so
exactly
look,
what you're talking
yeah, how do you want it?
about.
That's what he was talking about. And I didn't mean to run the young lady off, but yeah, usually you're gonna meet somebody that's more compatible, especially if you've been married for a long time. If it's like 5 years or less, I don't know what to tell y'all. That probably wasn't your person. Just probably wasn't your
Yeah, no,
person.
no, no,
Okay,
no. I
so
mean, like
moving on.
forever,
Yeah, go
you
ahead,
gotta open
Dwayne.
the playbook. I'm just saying, if we doing forever, you gotta open the playbook up. All right,
Yep,
you
you got
didn't
to.
do those things back then. Cool. We 10 years in strong.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's have a conversation. You know,
Yeah.
I've really been cool, been patient, but like, would you mind at
Mm-hmm.
least trying? You know,
Right.
can we and you that's another thing too. You got to develop that relationship to be able to talk, say it,
Yeah.
ask the questions. Do you know how many women don't even want they man to lick on them because he can't do it right and she don't want to tell him?
She should tell him. All right, so this is a big comment. And let me check my other one too, because we got a few chats going. I'm so excited. I'm at 6 years and I feel the same. I'm spending all the money and eating whatever I want to, whatever I want to give up the goods. But for real, we had to start back dating each other for the best results. Thank you. And that
Love
is
that.
her 6 years in. And yeah, I'm gonna claim that one. That's my one daughter that's married with a grandson. But yeah, they have to start over. And that's the thing, right? You constantly have to keep starting open, having those conversations, starting over. And it's married. It's marriage. You could start over inside that, inside the sanctuary of that intimate space as many times as you want to. It's y'all. Y'all make the rules. I've said this before
Yep.
in the past show. In your marriage, you make the rules. You don't have to base it on what anybody else did before you. In your marriage,
Yeah.
you decide what goes and what doesn't go. And as long as
Yeah.
you all are on that page, that marriage should last for a long, long time. Which I'm going to put up some pictures because I know we're kind of running through couples that I love who have proven that you can stay married to one another for years and still like and love each other. We got a few. And my favorite couple of all time, and they have been for years, is my favorite person, Denzel Washington, Mo Better Blues.
Oh, I thought you were
What
gonna
else
say
is
Barack and
in?
Michelle.
Barack and Michelle, they are on my list, but when it comes to longevity and how long we have seen these people in the public eye, Denzel and Pauletta Washington and their 4 beautiful children rank
Okay.
very
All
high
right.
on my list. They have been married for 41 years and counting. They just had an anniversary in March because, again, I am a fan of this couple, so I keep up.
Mm-hmm.
They just had an anniversary in March. They have 4 children. I think 2 out of the 4 are
Are
actors,
acting.
and the one on the
Mm-hmm.
end, I love him. I've seen him in quite a few
David
things.
Michael. I mean, David. Was it
David
John Mike?
David Michael Washington is his
Okay.
name
Okay.
on
Mm-hmm.
the end. So they have been married a long time. And what he said about his wife, and I have a video clip because I want y'all to see the dynamic between Denzel and Pauletta. He says the difference between a house and a home is it's a big difference. You can buy a house, but that doesn't make it a home. And not to say
That's
a
true.
man home, but my wife has made our house a home. Now I have a video clip of Denzel talking about Pauletta. Y'all got to watch this. I like their interaction.
Long that, long that, as long as I've known her, you know, she's been a movie buff, so she's gotten those kids to watch movies. See if I can get a FaceTime.
Okay.
She gonna be mad.
Uh-oh.
She's doing the math. She's like, he's in the middle of that interview. You know I'm in the middle of the interview, right? Just like a black woman. First thing she went. Why you? If y'all can excuse us for 1 second. I got to go. I'm busy doing the interview. So I don't get no gift. I don't get nothing. I don't get no gift, no cake, no nothing. I get a cake. I'm gonna give you a cake, all right.
Hilarious.
Oh wow.
Hilarious.
I love that interaction between them. Y'all, that's 41 years of friendship. They clearly like
Mhm.
each other. And what I love the most is when he held up the FaceTime of his wife, you can't show me a prouder man in the room.
Mhm.
You can show
Exactly.
me a prouder man in the room. That man is absolutely enthralled with his wife still. And if he's that good an actor where he acting, where he fooling the fuck out of me, that's love. I love to see that. That was crazy. But it's
Love is
also the
something
truth. That's how
you
you.
can't act that out.
Mhm.
Yep.
You can't
What'd
act
you
that
say?
out.
That's amazing.
And he did it. You can feel the energy between them, even in a
Mhm.
video, with them interacting with one another and how they play off each other just naturally. It's just that's what you look for. And then the next one is Sting. I do want to pull Sting up because I like what Sting said about his wife. And Sting and his wife have been married for 27 years, 32 years. I'm sorry. They've been married
Excuse
for
me.
32 years now. And they had a little scandal at the beginning there because Sting was married to someone else before he got with Trudy. And that first marriage overlapped into that second one because it was a little affair going on and then they got married. You see that one for Sting and Trudy?
I see when it says marriage.
It's a video. If you go what all I got a lot of them loaded up there. I should have one movie and two clips left. Samuel Jackson and Sting and Trudy. I'm gonna remove the video so you can see the other one.
Show almost 70.
Not that one.
Okay, we'll move that one. That one. So this is Sting and his wife Trudy Styler. They've been married for 32 years. They have four beautiful children. And believe it or not, they got married in 1992, but
Wait
he
a
was married
minute.
to her friend back in the 70s. Yes.
Here we
Sting
go.
was married to Trudy's friend Frances, and they had an affair that led to the divorce between Frances and Sting, and then he married Trudy in 1992. And they've been together all those years, still together, and they have four children, and they do yoga together. And if y'all don't know who Sting is, Diddy sampled his song Every Step I Take" for the younger ones
No
that might be
Diddy.
working. No Diddy. He ended up having to pay Sting copyright infringement because he did not get permission to use that song originally.
You
So
gonna
Sting
learn.
makes more money off of the remake of Every Step I Take than Diddy does, if y'all didn't know that.
Mm.
Little fun fact. But yeah, he married
Mhm.
her and they turned out to be a match made in heaven. He said this, he said they do yoga together and yoga has improved their schmegual life, their intimate relationship has improved it
Interesting.
by leaps and bounds.
I'll try
And
that.
I
I'll probably
remember
keep doing
seeing an interview of Trudy a few years ago and they asked her about that and she said, "Well, we're still married, it must be working."
Hey
that.
man.
But
Woo-hoo.
this is this is what she had to say. What he had to say about her. He said, "I know something about marriage. I've been married to Trudy for at the time it was 27 years. This was back in 2020. This was a People magazine interview. We're friends too. We love each other, but we actually like each other, and that's an important distinction
Mhm.
there.
It is.
Love is passion and all of that stuff, but actually liking somebody and enjoying someone's company is slightly different, and it lasts longer. Be married to your
Mhm.
best friend." And it really
That's
does.
cool.
That makes a difference right there. It's a difference. I know it don't seem like much to just say it, but to have someone that you like and that likes you and y'all can gel off each other, just think back to the um Denzel Washington and Pauletta clip we just saw. How very natural that flowed between them. I love to see it. So you can't say it. We clearly see that marriage, although evolving. I don't think it's a dying culture, but I think people are so much more cognizant about making that move before they make it.
So
I don't
it's
think this
evolving again, like you said. You think
it
marriage
is.
is evolving in this Western hemisphere? Is this in the West? It looks
It is
different than it
evolving.
does in the East than it does in the Middle East.
Okay, probably
Looks
not.
Yeah.
different.
Probably
Yeah,
not as
I didn't look too
different.
much in that. Yeah. I
It's
didn't look into
probably
the East. Yeah, because the
oh,
East is arranged marriage is so different. Marriage in the East
exactly
is nothing
arranged
like
marriage.
marriage here. Over in the East, it's all about family and tradition and culture and keeping
Mhm,
that going. America is so individualized now
mhm.
that that really disrupts what used to be tradition because now we're not following traditional marriage according to the church.
That's
And for
right.
the longest time, we followed traditional marriage in America according to the church, whatever that religion was, whether it's Catholic, Baptist,
Mhm,
Christian, Methodist, we followed the
mhm.
laws of our religion. But now
Right.
that this space, this virtual space has been introduced to us, and we have expanded beyond our demographic, beyond
More
just
education.
proximity. We're more
Think about
educated.
it.
You know,
Yeah,
we're
black
further
women
out from each
particularly.
other.
Right,
Yeah.
because black women are I think I put this in here before, black women are have been
Mhm.
known to be the most educated uh, subgroup in
Mhm.
America. Perfectly. So if there is and if there's any correlation between higher education and the higher divorce rate, because
Mhm.
black women are more educated enough now to say, look, I ain't taking this buster. I ain't taking this, nigga. So I'm sorry, I can't say that word. I ain't taking this from you.
No,
And
something
so,
right.
but also maybe it's either or. Look, man, but maybe it ain't so far. Maybe it ain't cheaper to keep her. Maybe I can get about this. There's prenups, there's postnups, there's things that so now they're, you know, come on, you know.
I think education has something to do with that. I know
Mhm.
the more education I pursued, the further my ex and I grew apart. I can
Mm.
say that for sure. Uh, I got more education. I got a better paying job. I traveled with that job. My career was building, and it
I'm
wasn't
glad
the traditional. It wasn't traditional the way it wasn't like it was in the beginning.
I'm glad you said that.
Hmm.
I think it's more. I don't even think it's just strictly education.
Hmm.
It's more of an individualistic goal. When you
Hmm.
have individualistic goals, that's more of a your path and not an our path kind of thing.
Right.
So um, women are now realizing now I don't necessarily need a man to get on a path to where I want to go.
Hmm.
I can just create my own path and follow my own journey and do my own
Right.
thing. And when I'm done doing whatever it is I want to do for my individual goals, Then I'll settle down and get X, Y, and Z. Here's where things can get tricky. Either A, you can go back to that woman we talked about earlier, who now that you are 50, 60, 70 years old and you've been single all this time, you no longer have a desire to be married. Yes, you do have needs of intimacy or whatever, but after you've built your own, established yourself, have slept by yourself, because there are women, they go and they do their thing, and then what they say, I'm gonna go back to my place.
I got a friend girl like that.
I like to
Very
sleep in my
successful.
own bed.
Right.
And I don't want to share my pillows with anybody. They're comfortable with that. So you can
I
either
don't
do
want to be
that, or you might find yourself on the short end of the stick or the totem pole because you're like, okay, now I'm ready. Okay, the chances of having children are slim to none because now you're 40 plus.
Right.
And there's still men who out there who might want them. Well, doctor says otherwise. The older you get, it ain't happening.
Right.
Or Mother Nature's gonna slide in there. We think
And she's undefeated.
50 plus is when
Right. Always.
Yeah, Mother Nature's undefeated. When
all the
she
way.
speaks, she has spoken.
That's what I said. When it's time, the factory shut down, you're like, but I ain't even got started. That's your fault.
Yep. Well,
You chose
Out of
your
business.
goals and careers and everything else instead of knowing that you only had a small window to actually endure motherhood. So, like I said, it's a give and take. It's a give and take thing. You have to understand and decide, make a decision. What is it that you truly want? I want to build something with you. I want to grow with you. I don't want to just jump in there later on in life because now we live in two separate lives.
And then you're living a lie at that point.
pretty much. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. I mean, yeah. It's
you
and I
basically
guess
are
it's for
living
men
that
too.
life
I don't know.
taking age.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Like
for
song,
both
Let's
of
Get
us.
Married?
It is for both of us. It is for men and women.
You know that song,
And
Let's Get Married?
however you guys have relationships, whether it's two men, two women, man, woman, whatever your
Yeah, right.
flavor, we're whatever your flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that song, Let's Get Married, they have a line on it I hate. I absolutely hate. I don't
What
know
it
why
say?
people love it so much. But he blurs it. We ain't getting no younger girl. We might as well
Might
do
as
it.
well
Oh,
do
that's
this.
so romantic.
Might as well just do it.
You're not doing this because you truly love this person, and you're not doing this because you don't want to live another day as a separate being from them. You're ready to become one. You're doing it because my time is running out and I ain't got nothing else left to do. I done done everything else. So what's up? You ready?
Right.
Like you only live once.
Right. Live your individuality while building together. It's a struggle, but I am trying this as well. It's tough, but worth it as long as you still keep your partner within your plans and goals.
There
Absolutely.
you go.
I mean,
That's
you can
where we
still
go
be an
back. Yeah.
individual and be
hmm
married, and it's just like you said, it's what you do. And I think that disagreements should be kept in the house and shouldn't be made public. All right, so I know we beat this couple to
Look at
death, right?
Wayne's face.
We have beat this couple to death. I'm gonna say Will and Jada.
Will and Jada.
Uh,
I know you was about to pick on Will and Jada.
it's because and they still married, right? They are still married, but damn.
I'm gonna tell you why I
it's-
did not
if you
include
can
Will and Jada on
emasculate a
this
man
slide.
anymore than Jada,
Listen,
Jada is relentless.
hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. And I have said this before about Jada. I feel like she trapped in paradise. And now, in light of the Diddy situation and the alleged information that has come out, and I'm saying alleged because I don't know, that Will may be on some of these tapes and part of this freak off shenanigans, the whole
Is
thing.
it Will and
That
Jada or
woman,
just Will?
that woman may have cause to be acting like she been acting. She been acting out, and ain't nobody looked at the root cause of why this lady been acting out and saying anything online. And I feel like she know his
She's still
secrets.
waiting
That's
for
why he never
Tupac.
check her. He never
She's still
checks
waiting
her.
for Tupac. That's
That girl, listen, y'all know the freak offs. They had more men. Listen, I'm gonna just. That's why they not on this video, because that there is. They are together and they have promised death do them part, or they're gonna be life partners or whatever. But that is a whole bowl of fuckery.
Bad
That is a
marriage for
dumpster
life.
fire. So they didn't make the list because they are a dumpster fire. But this last couple did. Pull one of my other favorite couples there.
Out of pocket couple. Ah, that's my man
They
right
out of
there.
pocket. But this couple right here,
That's
this
my
couple right
dude.
here,
That's my dude.
Samuel L. Jackson and Latanya Jackson, been married for 44 years and counting and going strong, y'all. Look, since 1980, they have been married. And Latanya said, making their union last. Union one of the longest. They have been married the longest. I'm reading this all wrong. But they first met. They have been through a lot together. This man used to be on drugs, and she stayed
Yes, he
with him
did.
through that. And we didn't
Mhm,
even touch on people who have addictions to this degree, the
mhm,
drugs and gambling and things that you trying to stay with your partner
mhm.
through. She stayed.
She
She
stayed.
stayed with him in achieving his sobriety. And I'm pretty sure he did
Good
a lot
deal.
of things that a lot of other people would have deemed unforgivable, and they would have left
Mhm.
this man. She didn't do that. And believe it or not, when he married her, she came in with money. She was a classically trained actress from the School of Juilliard. And a lot of you all don't
Yep.
remember her, but she was in Fugitive with Wesley Snipes
Yep.
and Tommy Lee Jones. So she
Mhm.
started acting and had
Mhm.
been acting for years before Samuel L. Jackson decided to hop in the ring. And he pretty much told her, I can do that. Ended up on Jungle Fever playing a crackhead role. And believe it or not, y'all didn't know that the man really was a crackhead in real life at
He
the
Really
time.
was
was.
at the time. He really
He
was.
was at the
He was
time.
battling.
And
Mhm.
went on to be one of our most favorite. I don't care what your ethnicity and background and race is. We love Samuel L. Jackson.
And let me tell you
Did I
something. You
tell you
mentioned
that he
Marvel
got why
earlier.
he got kicked out of Morehouse?
No.
All right.
Why did he get kicked out?
He was hanging out with a lot of the Black Panthers and the militants and things. He didn't think he and a few other students took the board hostage one day. They actually held the hostage, and one of the hostages was Martin Luther King Jr.'s father, MLK Sr.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, they took them hostage because they didn't believe that they were educating the black populace there the way they should in terms of the revolution.
So you telling me he basically
Yeah.
said, I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking educators. These
Right,
mother
right. That's what they said. That's what he said. But I love him. And Dejana did a couple
Yeah.
honorable mentions: Snoop Dogg and Shantae, Ice
Yeah.
T and
Ice.
Coco. Snoop
Yes.
Dogg and
Well,
Shantae, and Shantae, bless her heart, she been through a lot with Snoop because he hadn't always
So
been
it's
cool
Coco.
punk. He used to
yeah.
knock her head between the washer and the dryer back in the day. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. Ice T
How
and
about
Coco,
Ice
that's a good
Cube?
couple too.
How about Ice
Ice
Cube and his
Cube and his
wife?
wife. Yep. Hmm.
Because he put her in a rhyme because she can do it all night. Today was a good day.
I didn't know that was
That's his,
about
that's
his
his
wife
wife.
though.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a beat
Yeah.
from Kim. She
Yep.
do it all night.
Yep.
He
That's her.
married Kim. Kim was on it,
He
man. He's
married
still married to
Kim.
Kim, baby. He's still married to Kim. So, yeah, Ice T and Coco. That's a good. I will say this about Ice T, and somebody don't come for his wife on social media. Do not come for his wife because he
You
trolls
can't
her
come for the
page.
woman.
Mhm.
And if his wife posts something, Coco don't need a social media team because Ice T got time today, tomorrow, 20 years from now. Don't come for his wife. He will check the fuck out you and
Hey,
hurt your
Courtney
feelings.
B.
Because
Vance.
I used to read the comments.
Mhm.
Just to see if I used to scroll her pictures because that woman is beautiful. And I would scroll her pictures because I said if she posted in one of them G-string bikinis, y'all know how she like to wear those. One
Mhm.
time she was playing with
no,
a
I ain't never
baby.
seen it.
Listen, and somebody commented, I think it was a heavy set lady had commented about what she had on. Baby, I said, I didn't know Ice T be in the comments like this. Hold on. He was on. The lady went back and forth with him for a minute. I guess she probably didn't think that that was really him. Did you not see the blue check, ma'am? This man is reading you for Phil. He went to her
Hey,
page, this particular lady. She was a heavyset lady. He said, first of all, what you need to do is get in the gym so you can look more like her. Don't be on her page clowning her when you really want to be like her. I'm like,
Mm,
okay. And he said it. He said, I got time today. Who else?
mm.
That's how I found out he be trolling her
I got
page.
time today.
He got time today. Y'all better leave Coco alone. Okay, she
Yep.
is off limits. All right, I think we come to the end of the show. Final comments. Yeah, and to answer our question, marriage clearly isn't dying. It's not a dying culture, but it is not like it was. It's not the traditional church marriage like we used to know it. It's evolved. Some people are in committed relationships where they are not married to each other. You have people who are
Mhm.
in what do you call them?
polyamorous.
Um
Polyamorous or
polyamorous
poly,
relationships, and it's
you know.
working just fine for them. Sister
That's
wives
right.
used to be a thing. It used to be taboo, but I actually heard a lady tell me once, if she could find a man that could take care of her and another woman and she could share the responsibility of sex, she would.
I
She
know three
absolutely
women
would.
like that. Like and
Iyanla said she
mhm.
would. She said
Yeah, you
Who
got to
said
be able
that?
to take care.
Ayana?
You got to be able to support
Iyanla
both.
said she said, like, yeah, I would do that. Just
Mhm.
because she said, I don't always feel like it. It would be nice to
Especially
be
if
able to
you
say,
can
Dad,
find a person who can
Oh,
do
here
that,
we
who can
go.
afford
Oh,
it.
that last comment. That last
Too
comment you got to
many
highlight.
people want a social media. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm so glad you pointed this out. Too many people want a
Social
social
media
media marriage
marriage
instead
instead
of
of
a
a real
real
relationship.
relationship. You hit the nail on the head. I don't know why we done did all this talking,
they
but that
romanticize
plays a
marriage.
big part of it.
Speaking
They
of that,
romanticize it. Hmm.
don't forget about Rev Run and his wife. They've been kicking it for a while, haven't they?
Oh,
Um,
yeah, they have. Just
oh
what's
yeah,
her
I
name?
don't know.
Justine?
Because I believe didn't she become ill for a while, and
Oh yeah,
seems like they're still
they've been
kicking.
down for a while. They've been down for a
Yeah,
Hmm.
as I
while.
said, let me look because that's not a couple that I follow since Rev Run. But she's right. Social media plays a lot. Sometimes people look at what's online and they
Yeah,
take
social
that and they
media is
try to
not a real
compare.
place.
It's
Hmm.
not. Didn't Glorilla tell y'all the internet a fairy tale?
It's it man,
I love
they
Glow.
saw she did the
I
interview
really
with
love that
Shannon
little
Sharp,
chick.
and then the next
She
thing
is
you
the
know, she
most
started a
humble little
relationship with
thing.
her just being
Let me see.
pregnant, and folks like, I know she not pregnant, but I'm like, y'all just saw her. She just really whooped all of y'all because she was releasing clips from her upcoming video. But y'all automatically, where that baby come from? You just saw the interview with her and Shannon Sharp. Glow this big. Come
Oh,
on,
she
dog.
really is pregnant.
No, she not.
I was about to say. I thought
It was
that was
clips
a
from
fake
a music
thing.
video she was releasing.
I
But it's
thought
the fact
Oh,
that
so.
everybody they see
well, you
things and
know,
they run with it. And it's like, bro, you don't even take the time out. Who was that? Oh yeah.
Put
Jonathan
that clip
Majors
back
and
up. Put that
Megan
clip back
Good.
up.
hmm
I thought they broke up.
They just got engaged. And my
Well, people
comment
be
when I
lying
saw
on the
that thing,
internet. Look at there.
but that's
That's
what
the
my
that's
comment was.
yeah.
yep, that's it.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's them.
Rev Run from Run
Reverend and
DMC.
Justin.
Okay.
But my comment was one day
Hmm.
we're gonna learn how to mind our own business. One day.
Mm.
Right. I know in the
Right.
video I did online, I had put a rumor up there that they were saying Debrat and Judy B had they
Broken
were
up.
separated because of infidelity, and that was not even the truth. That was an absolute lie. They both came out and said, "What?" First of all, and it was in like one of those lesbian magazines, like a really popular one, Easy Online. And they was like, "Where is this coming from? Like, where are you getting your news from? This is not true. We are
Hmm.
fine. Our child is fine. Please get the fuck about our business, because that ain't
People
even
hate
our business."
happiness. Yep, people
That's
hate
what it is.
happiness.
It's just
Well,
happiness
if
hating.
you
People, right?
I think that's me personally. That shows the success of your relationship and marriage.
Hmm.
Because if you stay together long enough, then the rumors of a divorce or a split are going to come out. Like
Hmm.
that's going to happen because people for some reason don't want to see other people happy.
They
So here's a
don't.
They
question.
misery
Here's a
does what
question.
people.
Here's a question.
Mhm.
If you keep your relationship off of social media, will it last longer?
I think
I
so.
don't. It depends on how you do it. So, for instance, like I
Hmm.
post my wife for her birthday,
Right.
any congratulatory moments or something like
Hmm.
that. But is every post that I put up involving her, or is that's going on her page with
No,
me? No, we don't do
no.
that.
Right.
Our private moments are just that. So I guess
Yeah.
if you maintain a certain level of privacy in your
Right.
marriage or your relationship, um, the better the success it is. Like I said, you want to keep people. What they say, the old folks say, keep everybody out your bedroom.
That's right. There was a,
No.
And to add
Go
to
ahead.
that point, I think people, like you said, there's some happiness haters out here. They don't want to see you happy. And for you people, people who are married, I mean, and you maybe you're new married, you've been married 10 years, please don't allow can't post thirst trap photos and videos. No, don't do that. Don't if you're married, do not be
Okay,
posting thirst
okay,
trap
let's do
photos and
this.
videos unless you
Okay, let's do
Coco
this.
and you're
Thirst
married
trap.
to nice tea.
Let's do this.
What?
If listen, if we have an honest conversation about who you are and this, if I met you and this is what you know, and
Right.
and that if I met you that way, I can't expect you all of a sudden just stop being that unless you choose to be that. But just because I'm with you now, I shouldn't expect you to just no longer be that. See, what people got to understand is I'm marrying you, or I married you to be my wife. I didn't marry you to be my mother, and you didn't marry me to be your father.
Right.
Or
We're not
however you
policing each other like that.
you don't get to tell me what I can and can't do in life. We will set the boundaries for what works for us based on what we agree with, everything like that. But I don't need an additional parent.
Right.
I'm
I
grown.
refuse to allow
I'm
that.
grown now.
I think that's the problem, though. A lot of times when people are policing their spouses because of their own insecurities, things that they have
And it's
not
definitely
dealt with on their own, and so it causes problems in the relationship. I know social media has intruded upon people's relationship only because one or the other partner was not dealing with their own insecurities. And then they felt like that was impeding on the relationship. No, it wasn't. It didn't impede on it until you allow it. And another thing too, don't let anybody come tell you anything about your spouse. Again, it goes back to conversations like Wayne was saying. You and your spouse should be having those conversations. Even if somebody came to you and said they heard, they saw, blah, blah, blah. Sit down with your spouse and have that conversation. Don't let it fester and build up. And are you taking everyone else's word instead of talking to the person that you are in the house with? That was a
thank
big
you.
major part of the ending towards my relationship. It was so many people feeding my ex with so many different scenarios, but instead of him having these conversations with me, it became a passive aggressive situation where by the time we did address it, it was so many things that needed to be addressed on top of me traveling and training and getting schooling that it was too much. It was too much. So please keep people the fuck out your relationship. That's the best advice. I don't care if it's your first marriage or your third marriage. Keep
No,
people out of your bedroom.
no.
Okay, if Derek Jackson, what did he say? Wasn't
I was
posting
saying, no,
chick. No, he would not still be married. Absolutely not. Haters, thank you. Yeah, no, Derek Jackson is
he's
ew,
I'm gonna go ahead and say he's shitty.
ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
He's
sucky
side
human
darn.
being, and that's why
He's a dumpster fire.
it's
He's
some of
dumpster
these.
fire.
Let me tell y'all too. It's some of these little social media advisors or
Mhm.
these relationship count or whoever they supposedly are. They really just gassing y'all up. That's who's
Mhm.
selling you. Some of them are really selling y'all the fake promises of what marriage and relationship should
Like
be.
Steve Harvey in his book.
Hey man,
Mhm. What
I
he
don't even
say?
go in this. Man, Steve Harvey got a whole different situation. But but anyway, I said,
Yeah, that might be
listen,
another. That might be something to talk about on another day.
it's a lot of people. They pray. So, for instance, you know that the there's a market for single women who believe in romance, who chase it, they crave it. That's why they still to this day watch Lifetime all the time, and all the romantic movies are still, whatever. And I'm
That's
like,
why romance novels
this
are still
stuff ain't
selling.
real.
Yeah, books that are selling romance. Yeah.
I was saying, all that stuff is not real, but they sell it. You can sell people a dream. And so what you have to start realizing is
Yeah, you can.
your marriage or your relationship, it should never be based on a dream. It should never be based on a book or a movie it needs to be based strictly on what you and your partner agree to. You set the terms, you control the
Period.
standards, and that way the outcome is big. And going back to what you just said about, hearing stuff from other people, I should never
Mhm.
hear something about you from anybody on the outside of our home. When it
Mhm.
comes to you as my partner, as my wife, or my husband, whatever you have, I should hear about you from you, not anybody on the outside. If I hear
Right.
about you from the outside first, you failed to communicate with me.
Right.
I don't want to hear you didn't give me a chance. You had every chance. You had every chance.
And I love that. I love everyone
Somebody
too.
called me.
Dossie, I forgot y'all. Dossie has been commenting on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Dejana has been commenting some things, and she just put in there, "I love Sex in the City. It's a dream movie series." Unfortunately, yes. Money Long, bless her heart. I'm gonna pray for her because that's terrible. Husband cheated on her after she got famous. Social media had a lot to do with it.
I didn't even know
I
Money
don't know
Long was
much
married.
about that story. Yeah, she was married to like an NFL's player. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not gonna speak on it too much. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but here it is. We are an hour and 30 minutes, 35 minutes in, and we gotta close it. This is good.
Okay.
This is
Yes.
such a good topic. But here is my
Yes.
recap. Here are
I
my
had
key
one
points.
last. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead. I'll
ahead.
make it on me. I'll
Uh-uh.
make it on me. Now, I wanted to answer a question that we had asked earlier about the whole friends of the opposite sex thing.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add at this point, you have got to, again, before you get in any type of relationship, you got to deal with your own insecurities. If you don't believe that people can be friends and still be in healthy relationships, you need to examine why you feel that way.
That's good.
My wife and I this month made 16 years from the first time I ever told her I love her. We've been married for 12.
Mhm.
Okay. Her best friend is a male. My best friend is a female. Those positions ain't changed. And here's the thing. Whoa, you ain't worried about? I ain't worried about shit. I know who he is. He know who I am.
Mhm.
And vice versa. We know how that works, that operates, and we are perfectly fine with it. We're not a jealous couple. We're very open minded about some things, but our level of communication is why we're good.
Mhm.
Again, I ain't gonna hear nothing about you that from somebody else. She will always come to me first. She will always tell me first. And
Mhm.
even before if it was to go to something like a sexual experience, we have this thing where if you get to a point where you have urges about somebody else, just come talk to me first. Let's have
Right.
an honest discussion about why you even feel that way. Let's just do that. Let's just put it on the table. Talk, communicate. But again, I'm not your father and you ain't my mother. You can't tell
Right.
me who to be friends with. I literally broke up with a girl because she tried to set those standards. You
Very
don't get to
true.
tell me who I can and can't be friends with. Fuck out of here.
Mhm.
I'm good.
Now, for
Yeah,
me,
that's a red flag, ladies. Listen, if
mhm.
you get with a man and the first thing he want to do is cut off all your friends because y'all in a relationship and he just wants you to hang out with him and his friends or him and his family,
It's called
that's the biggest red
manipulation.
flag. Run,
Called
run
manipulation.
far and fast.
Run.
Yes.
Run
Go
for
ahead.
it. Run for
Uh,
it. Run.
what you gonna say?
So,
That's not being
but
respectful. Cutting people. If
it's
you
not
gotta
very
cut
respectful.
people off because you with somebody, you ain't being respectful.
Not
You
at all.
you in a
Not at
trap.
all.
Like this
Yeah, you're
ain't.
definitely in a trap. You're definitely in a trap.
So,
Don't do it.
so for me,
Mhm.
I have friends from, I have frat brothers, I got male, I have female friends. But what I do is I have healthy boundaries because I know, my wife isn't a jealous type, not at all. She's not jealous, but she does have boundaries by saying, hey, you know what? This is where at this point is where I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, that's cool, and
That's
so
cool.
that's the line.
Right.
It's communication between she and I. She knows
Mhm.
that in the work real estate is now a female dominated space. We have
Mhm.
males who are real estate agents and brokers,
Mhm.
but by mass largest, we have so many more women in that space. And I communicate with everybody. And I have friendships with males and females, and we're good friends. But guess what? There's also good boundaries too, right?
Mhm.
Because you maintain what goes on at home, and she's great. And Granny, you've met my wife. We've gone out to eat and everything else.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart. My wife is truly a sweetheart. She really is. But and there's no but behind it. Let me go back and restate that. And we
Mhm.
communicating. We know where boundaries are.
Right,
Boundaries
and
are
that's the
cool.
most important thing.
Mhm.
Keep that, that's we mess up when we stop communicating with each other. We stop talking. We fucking up. Like you in a relationship and you shut down from your partner and vice versa. You about to land in hot water for sure. Keep that playbook open and fresh. Keep them conversations open, even when it's uncomfortable. Have the conversation with that person. Here are my key takeaways. Right, we've talked about all of them mostly. This has been so great. We got to do this again. We should do this next Tuesday. We
Look,
should
they
do it
got
again.
you got a podcast, right? We
Thank
can do
God
this
I'm
too.
gonna
We
podcast.
should
We can
do
do this
that. You know what I'm
again.
saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
This is
saying?
great.
We
I
get
have
a
really
chance to
enjoyed it.
touch America through our words, right?
I
We get a chance to
know.
touch the fabric of America
Oh,
in our
I know what I
podcast.
forgot to do. I forgot to do the
Mm-hmm.
get it off your chest section for this one because
Uh-huh.
this was so good. I didn't even think
Mm.
about the get it off your chest. So I'm gonna put it on my Facebook page, and y'all got to give us some topics of what you want to get the fuck off your chest
Yep.
next week. We're not gonna do it this week because we are here. We have come to time. So
Yep.
trends show marriage isn't dead, but it's being reimagined in response to
Mm-hmm.
modern times and reality.
Remix.
Remix. It's being remixed,
The
right?
marriage remix.
It's not dead, but it's definitely being remixed on so many levels. And I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg of where you could take your relationship because now we don't have the restraints of following our mother and father's religion when it
That's
comes
right.
to our marriages. Okay. We
The
run
new
it.
way to reach people podcast.
We make the
I like
rules.
that, Deshauna.
New way to reach people podcast. Oh, I love it. Yeah, we make the rules. People need to know that in their marriage. You make the
Yep.
rules. You set the standard for you and your spouse. Let that take that away. The essence of marriage commitment remains important, even if the forms change,
Yep.
even if it changes and it's remixed. Communication, being committed, being self aware, having emotional intelligence for your partner, making space for one
Mhm.
another at every point in the journey. At every point in the journey.
And making space for both of you to grow
Right.
and
Making
grow
space for that.
together.
I love this
That's
because again, evolution.
Mhm.
Evolution is inevitable.
yep.
Okay, so
Evolution
Right.
or
oh,
devolution or devolution.
but
Either
I
you're
don't
gonna
like when people say,
Mhm.
we can be creatures of habits, but at the same time, we still evolve, we still change, we still grow.
It's
Mhm.
true.
And even the most stale man, you don't get to keep doing exactly the same thing for 40 years like Papa did. Everything is constantly changing. Your
Very
favorite
true.
shows ain't gonna be on as long as they used to be.
Mhm.
Your favorite recliner and chairs and couches, and they all wear and tear way more than they used to. Everything
Our
constantly
bodies.
grow. Yes.
Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
can't, because now somebody's doing something different, assume the worst about that person.
Right.
Right.
Let's have a conversation, pay attention, and say, hey, I noticed X, Y, and D, what's going on. But hey, I done developed a new habit with this and this and that. I kind of like that now, and it's
Mhm.
cool. But just healthy communication, allow people
Right.
the room to grow, because evolution is inevitable.
There it is. That's the whole point of it. Thank you all for watching this show. Remember to like, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, like and follow. If you're on IG, like and follow, share, comment. We need lots and lots of comments so we can feed the algorithm on all of these apps to let them know you like the content so that you can continue to see more of it. So that's the whole point of it. Please like, share, comment on whatever social media platform you happen to be joining us on. Please listen for us on BWNC Radio. Download the app. It is absolutely free, no cost to you. What else we need to add, y'all?
This episode will be re-airing on BWNC Radio, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central. Also, make sure you find Cheryl's audio podcast, 4040 Network, out here on Spotify, Apple
It's
Podcasts,
wherever you listen to your podcast,
Amazon Music.
Spotify, all
We
of
out
it,
here. And I will
iHeartRadio,
say this:
all of it.
we are
Mhm,
opening the doors to people. If you want to work, and I do mean work,
mhm.
we are looking to expand the media group. So if
Yeah.
you are ready to work, you have a premise for what things you would like to do, if you just want to come in and just be a part of our shows that we have, or if you think you can handle leading your own, reach out to me.
Mhm.
Let's go. iAmWoe Media Group is ready to work. That is the key word there ready to work. And when we work, we want everything we work for. You feel me?
That's it. Guys, donations.
Oh,
We are
yes. Thank you.
accepting donations. We are accepting
Because we working.
you know what I'm saying? And we
Oh, I forgot to
also, if you're business owners and you're looking for a space, we have that as well. So please get in contact with Woe here, iAmWoe Media, if you're looking, because our reach is expanding. If you want to be a
Yes,
part
it
of the show,
is.
if you want to sow a seed here, and then also have people know who you are, this is the place to be. Okay, so
It is indeed. And the way you can donate is, thank you, send stars on Facebook. You can send
yep,
stars on Jonathan's page, Woe's
yep,
page, my page. You can
yep,
also go to Spotify, and I'll put the link. I think the link is in my Facebook and Instagram and YouTube channels. But you can go to
Yes.
spotify.com and find
Or
this, and you can the same thing for you, Wayne, and you can donate anywhere from 99 cents a month up to however much you want to donate a month. You can also cash app us. We got to start remembering to put our cash app tags. So if you want to individually bless us, by all means do that, because it takes money to put this on. And that's the goal. That's what we're going towards, to be able to bring more content and talk about the things that affect us in the Black
yep.
community specifically, and other communities, but mostly ours.
and
That's
if you
it.
would
Y'all
like to
have a
do
beautiful
business
night.
with
That's it.
us, this
Yeah,
is where
there you
you
go.
can contact me at. And we, like I said, floor is open. We're ready to work. So if you whether it's just as a content contributor or you actually think you're ready to lead a show, hit me right here in this email address. Let's get to it and advertise.
All
We want
right.
to push your business.
There we go. I think that's it. Y'all have a beautiful, wonderful week until we talk next week. Next week, what are we talking about? I forgot the subject because I was talking about this so much. I just got really hyped. But we'll announce
You know
next
what?
week what we're talking
But
about.
guys, look,
But
if there's some things you want us to really talk about, give us some
yeah,
more
let's go.
topics. What do you want to know more about? Give it to us. Let's ponder it so we can actually, give us your ideas. And so we
Right.
can actually, make that happen for you. And the doors of the church are open.
The doors of the church are open. Thank you. I love that. Let us all rise and sing, until we meet again.
Yep.
Look,
Let
you
the
want oh, so
church
you want to let the
say
church we'll give the
amen.
minister the last word.
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was?
I don't even care no more. All y'all go to hell. My wife.
Well,
That note. And on that note, the church has said amen.
Amen. Amen.